But now we're over to our third panel, so I'm going to get straight to it. And I'm going to welcome to the stage Odunayo, who is the co-founding partner of FirstCheck Africa, and also very experienced founder herself, to host our panel on expanding opportunities for women in tech. So Odunayo, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here, and welcome to the UK Nigeria Tech Summit. This panel is essentially an early stage panel that is focused on expanding opportunities for women in tech. My name is Eweniyi again, and I'm co-founder and partner at FirstCheck Africa, a new early stage fund for women that launched about a month ago. I'd like to welcome to the panel Ogunro from Willys Africa, Adejana from Bankley, and Fumni Adewara from Mobi Health. So I'll just give the panelists 1 minute each to kind of introduce themselves, and then we can take it from there. Fade, would you like to go first?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. Well, wherever you may be around the world, good day. My name is Ogunro, and I'm the CEO of Willys Africa. So I think it's better to give a bit of background about myself and then introduce what Willys Africa does. So I am a techpreneur, but my background's actually in media. I co-own a TV production company called Film Factory, and I specialize in documentaries, music videos, and TV commercials. Shooting a lot of this content all across sub-Saharan Africa put me in a unique position to identify how fragmented the media industry is across the continent, which inspired me to develop a platform, WillysAfrica.com, which simply connects clients directly to service providers in Nigeria, South Africa, and Kenya, ideally because they're the major media hubs across Africa. Now, we have over 25 services ranging from accountants all the way to videographers and voiceover artists. So essentially, you can call us the Upwork of Africa. Work platform in sub-Saharan Africa that currently offers a video call feature. So you can contact your fitness instructor, your therapist, your business consultants, just like we're doing, simply through the feature of our video call service. We're currently operating in 3 countries with plans to scale to about 10 countries over the next 2 years. And yeah, 2020 was extremely hard. We're just over a year old, but we're pushing through. And thank you so much for having me on the panel. And I look forward to participating and sharing as much insight as possible.
Awesome. Thanks, Fade. Tomi, do you want to go next? I think we might have lost Tomi. All right. Hi, Fumi, please go ahead and introduce yourself, and then Tomi can introduce after.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very pleased to be here. My name is Fumni Adewara. I'm the founder of Mobi Health International. And just a bit of background, I am a UK-based physician of Nigerian heritage, of course. I left Nigeria, like most of my colleagues, about 15 years ago. I work within the NHS as a stroke physician, but I also have a background in business development and building high-tech enterprises. I had a master's degree in bioscience enterprise from Cambridge University. I've worked in drug development as a drug safety physician, working in one of the leading pharmaceutical companies in the UK. I founded Mobi Health out of my passion to change the poor narrative of healthcare in Africa, given the knowledge I have and my experience as a child. And that springboarded me into the entrepreneurship I found myself today. So our platform essentially is a digital health platform, a telemedicine platform. We are pioneering the first fully integrated telehealth platform that has an EMR, that's electronic medical record, with a low bandwidth video software embedded within it that allows a doctor anywhere in the world to consult with a patient anywhere in the world. We're a global company, but we have a bias for Africa because that's where the need is greatest. So on our platform, we are a one-stop solution to a user's healthcare needs. So you can get prescription, you can see any specialist on our platform. We do home delivery of medication. Importantly, also, we do local capacity building because that's very critical. So that's what we are. We launched commercially in January before COVID. But we've been able to leverage our platform to support the national pandemic response. We launched the first do-it-yourself, teleguided do-it-yourself swab test, and that reduced the need to go to the test centers, reduced PPE consumption, and improved the turnaround time of result. This is now being scaled across the country. We are present in the UK, in Nigeria, and we have the plan to expand to half of the continent by 2024, reaching about 10 million subscribers. Thank you.
Thank you, Fumni. Hi, Tommy, welcome back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was asking.
I hope you can hear me now. Yeah.
So I was asking you
Okay,
to
awesome.
introduce yourself in about a minute so that we can get straight into the panel.
Okay, thank you, Odu. Hi, everyone. My name is Tomi. I am co-founder and CEO of Bankly. Bankly is a cash digitization company focusing on banking the informal unbanked. We believe that financial services in Nigeria has to move away from the top of the pyramid, or I like to call the 40 million banked with BVN, and that some people have to do the work of actually going outside of this existing pie to expand that pie. And what Bankly has done over the last 18 months is we realized that there's going to be 3 phases to which digitization is going to happen with the unbanked. And the first phase is that you need to build branches in a more efficient and affordable way. And so the first thing we did is building the distribution in an agent network. Now, after that, we believe that the next phase will be to actually acquire the customers and channeling them to those locations or those distribution channels, but including them with their own wallets over the phone without the need for internet or the need for internet as the case may be. And then you then understand that the final phase will be in data, having data to then serve them with credit, with insurance, and just bringing together lending companies, insurance companies who know how to serve, or even investment companies who know who has built competence in serving these people to pull them together and serve them using the data from those customers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, all 3 of you. So we'll just get right in. As founders who have raised small rounds in our individual businesses, I'd like to ask a bit about the considerations and challenges in the early days. So I'm going to ask Tomi first. What has it been like to build your business right now, having raised a small round? And what does your business now in its early stage focus on really, and what are the metrics that are driving your business?
Yeah, thank you, Odun. I'll say we raised our first pre-seed round in 2019, and our focus then was to test out. I like to say we're scientists just testing out our hypothesis. Now, if you're as an early stage founder, you need to go to the market without an answer. You need to go and just try to see how this hypothesis you're testing is going to play out. And so I think as a first, giving that first round of money is just to hit the ground. You don't have to make it perfect. You don't have to have the best app. Hit the ground running, understand what the customers need, take that data and then use it to develop a more robust product. So that's what we did in the last 18 months. We just closed the seed round. And I think knowing that we've been able to then make that understanding in the last 18 months, understand what the customers need, use the small fund to hit the ground and just learn. We're now able to say we conveniently feel we understand what the consumers need. We think we get ready to move to the next phase. And that's where we're able to raise a seed round to scale into what we already understood.
Right. Okay, I'm going to move on to Fumni. So Fumni, what pandemic has taught us, and this is I think you have a lot of knowledge about this as you work in healthcare, is that organizations and teams can be more dispersed in where they operate from. People are working remotely, people haven't gone to the office in a year. So has the past 12 years changed the way you're building with your team? And how have you maintained and strengthened culture? I know you already mentioned that you have a team in the UK and in Nigeria. How has this kind of affected the way they work? You're muted, sorry.
Remote working has always been our business model anyway. We have team across the 4 continents, the UK, Nigeria, US, Asia, and we've always worked remotely. 99% of our staff are on ground in Nigeria. And the only thing that's changed really for us is the increase in the demand for the services. As you know, the COVID-19 pandemic has really pushed telemedicine and digital health to the forefront of the global economy and global health issues. And we've seen remarkable increase in the adoption of telemedicine, particularly in developed countries where you see about 1,000 to 4,000 increase in adoption. But even in Africa, we have seen gradual willingness for consumers to embrace telemedicine, unlike pre-COVID era. both consumers and the doctors and providers. However, there's still a lot of room for improvement, a lot of awareness that needs to be created and to drive this to the last mile. So for us as a team, there's been an increase in the demand for the service. And at the time we were we're in the process where we have raised our initial rounds from angel investment, family and friends round in 2019, 2018. We went commercial, launched commercially in January this year, and then COVID started. And at that time, we were in the process of raising our Series A. So the lack of fiscal ability, the lockdown affected the timeline for closure, even though that the industry was viable and was growing, but the inability to travel, to meet investors, again, kind of impacted on the timeline for closure. But we were able to, again, work around these challenges. But one of the things that I know that is very critical when you have a remote workforce, particularly in countries like Nigeria, where people are used to the traditional setting, migrating to a virtual workforce comes with a lot of challenges, not just because they don't have some of them don't have the digital skills, but even the time, the time that it took them, the shortness of time that it took for people to migrate and acquire the skills. And the fact that it puts a lot of pressure on the team. People can feel really disengaged when they're in front of the screen. So it's very important to maintain a very effective communication between your team, and to generally just have a channel for people to communicate with themselves. Unlike in the traditional setting where you can go to the toilet, have a short break, go for coffee, have a personal contact and all that. With virtual working, that has become really impossible. That has been obliterated by COVID. So how do you maintain a very healthy workforce, inspiring people, ensuring that your vision is well communicated to the team? It's by effective communication, off and online, and also giving them the room, a channel, an informal channel to discuss things that may not be relevant to work, essentially.
Thank you. So Fade, right, so things have been a bit unstable for the past 1 year, globally and definitely localized in Nigeria. And we're now here at the UK Nigeria Summit, and the UK NG Tech Hub has been very instrumental in the expansion of quite a number of startups into the UK. And I want to know, how are you thinking about international expansion and going global, and potentially leveraging the ties that you now have with the UK Nigeria Tech Hub to kind of look at how to take Bookings Africa like global or beyond Nigeria to start with?
Thank you, Odunayo. Well, currently I'm operating outside of Nigeria already. So we're based in Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa. I've been in operation for about 14 months. I do want to conquer sub-Saharan Africa first. So I do have plans to scale to another 8 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, because Bookings Africa, I want us to be known, homegrown first. However, after 2 years, all things being equal, and I do achieve this, then I do plan to scale to the UK and beyond, where there are lots of Africans in the diaspora. So markets that have a lot of Africans definitely is attractive to the business. Basically, would like to be the one-stop shop where you can find African service providers globally. So if you want to eat jollof rice when you're in Nigeria, you should be able to go to the app. You want to get your hair braided when you're in Japan, you should be able to find an African on the app. So expanding globally definitely is on the horizon for us. However, they always say start local, think global. So I want to start locally, conquer my markets in sub-Saharan Africa, and then UK, I'm coming for you.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to stay.
And hopefully the UK Tech Hub will help enable that.
I think they will. So yeah, staying on you, Fade, like I just launched an early stage investment fund for women, and it was born off of a personal experience with fundraising process, as well as all of the inconsistent data about how women raise and how our access to capital is kind of changed over the years, not much. So I would like to ask, what has your experience been fundraising? What were the challenges that you faced? And what are the things that you tell like younger founders to look out for when starting to fundraise, whether pre-seed or seed or even a Series A?
All right. So the first challenge that I faced was trying to raise funds without my MVP. If you're online and you're not sure what that is, it's a minimum viable product. So I didn't even have a basic website whatsoever. I just had a business plan, my business model, an idea, and my confidence. And no matter where I went to raise, I kept getting the same feedback, which is it's a great idea. However, we need to see the actual product. And it's a bit of a catch-22 because you want funds so that you can create the product, but so you can't create the product without the funds. So that was the first initial hurdle that I had to overcome. And slowly I just saved some money and I created a very basic website. And as soon as I created that website, literally it was a 180 degrees turnaround. If I was getting 10 no's in a week, it went to 5 yeses in a week. Then it went to 8 yeses in a week. So it was quite encouraging knowing that I was on the right path. And within 3 months of creating my MVP, I was able to raise about $400,000 in pre-seed. Most recently, around December 2020, just last year, my shareholders actually put more money in. So I've actually now raised an additional $1 million. I didn't have to look for external shareholders, and that way we didn't have to reduce the equity amongst the shareholders. So that was quite fortunate. The advice that I would give budding entrepreneurs though is everybody gets excited. It's a natural thing to get excited when you get an offer from an investor. Don't rush to say yes. You are interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you. So you need to do your due diligence on these investors. How many exits have they done? What sector do they normally invest in? What is the other companies that they've invested in? Speak to the founders. What was the relationship like? Are they very hands-on? Do they add more value beyond funds? Because if you are just a budding entrepreneur, you probably need a lot more support than just finance. You might need corporate diligence and due diligence support, corporate governance. You might need HR, you might need legal support. You might actually need like an infrastructure, an office to work out of if the funding that you receive doesn't cover all this. So is there any other value add that your investor can provide outside of finance? I think it's very important to know that. And it's also very important to find out what exits that they've done in the past and generally how they harness and build relationship with other founders. So if you can, go and do your research, find other companies that they've invested in, and find out how that relationship is. Because the last thing that you want is somebody who's got a lot of money, but they lack morals, they lack integrity, and the next thing they know, they voted you out on your board and you're jobless. And that has happened. So yes, that's what I'd always say. Be aware when you are looking for an investor, do your research, do your due diligence, and don't be afraid to say no if you're not happy with them. Just don't take the money. You need to add more value beyond that. That's my advice.
Sounds perfect. So I'm going to move to Tomi next. I've been in the tech ecosystem, I think, for about 8 years now. And I think I met Tomi for the first time in 2018, 2019, I'm not sure when. So she's been in the ecosystem quite a while as well. So what I would like to ask, as someone who's been in the ecosystem for a bit, what do you think that the ecosystem should do to help create more opportunities to get investments into female-founded business, right? Is there something that founders need to be doing, or do we need more representation on the investment side of the table?
Yeah, thank you, Odun. I think the first thing founders need to be doing is that we need to be hand-holding the next set of people. It's usual that, and I'll say an example. If Odun, who is in fintech as well, has raised funds, I should be able to reach out to Odun and say, as my first level, before I'm talking to people we don't even understand the ecosystem, we don't even understand the problem. Someone who understands the ecosystem, who understands the problem, send her my deck, say that this is what's happening. Then she can either help refine, then also help lead me to the pipeline of investors who already she knows. Either she's spoken to, she understands that they might not be a fit for me, they are a fit for you, you're early stage. And I think that's one of the first things we need to do. Either you're male, female, the ecosystem has to actually help the ones coming up. One of the things I found during my recently closed $2 million raise was that it was interesting to find that other fintechs were the ones who led the round within the ecosystem and also sent a very strong signal to the Silicon Valley investors who says, you know, if this person is leading this check, if this existing early stage fintech investor is coming on in this round, then that means that they understand the market and they can also help you in the engagement, because then now the foreign investor is like, can I talk to your lead? And the lead understands the market, understands the challenges, also knows how they can help you, whether with regulators, either with partnerships and all of that. So those are the first thing. Representation matters. I think I find out that the more it's harder for me to go to be able to buzz a GB or Shola on WhatsApp, but it's easier for a very early stage who might need a first check to reach out to me and say, Tomi, I think I know that you've been on this, you've raised a seed round, how can I go about mine? So I think having that in phases or in cohorts, having those levels, just building up in structures is very important. I think the second thing I wrote is, like I said, I've opened up the pipeline, let there be some form of co-helping within the system. I also wanted to address one of the things that Fade said, which she already answered from a side, but if founders who are trying to raise funds, I think one of the things is founders don't get ready. There needs to be some form of investment in getting ready. It doesn't matter if you're trying to raise $100 fund. Why are you trying to raise $100,000? Is it a number that just sounds good to you, or because your friend Fade raised $400,000, so I want to raise $400,000? Have you built a model? It doesn't have to be something crazy, but have something on an Excel sheet that says, I need this 100,000 because I need to do this, I need to do that, and it will last me for the next 12 months. You'd be surprised how many people don't even know how much they need, and it just sounds like, I think I need to raise 200,000. I think so. Investing in getting ready is one of the first things I think. I also think that don't wait to close a round. Don't wait, oh, I need to get the full $400,000 before I make a move. If you get the first 50 check, keep moving. Next 25,000, keep moving. Next $100,000 check, keep moving. So don't stay in a place and say, I want to raise this round, or I've closed this round and now I can move. Just keep collecting and moving, else it then saves you a lot of time. So I think first, representation matters. Let those that are further along the journey in fintech or in whatever industry within the tech space to help to bring on board others and open up their pipeline to them. And that's what I would like to say about that. You're muted.
Yeah, I think you made like a lot of good points. One is that we do have a responsibility to hold the door open for the female founders, especially who are coming after us. And the second thing I think that's very, very key is that we will see a number of already existing entrepreneurs leading the fundraising rounds for like subsequent startups. And a third point that you're making, I suppose, is that we would also see quite a number of founders becoming investors and having actual venture capital funds just by virtue of having gone through the journey. So for me, I wanted to ask, so Mobi Health has seen a lot of success with grant funding and awards, which is natural considering you work in the health sector, and we do have quite a ways to go in the development of our health sector. Does this experience and knowledge translate to raising capital from investors? Like, has it made it easier for you, or does it smoothen the way for you to kind of like raise actual equity or debt capital?
Well, that's a very good question. We have been very lucky, of course, to enjoy that global publicity and endorsement from reputable organizations like the World Bank, the Africa Development Bank, Sanofi, and the UK government through the Tech Hubs Summit that we were part of. However, the healthcare industry is different. Investors view healthcare as very high risk and complex, and this often impacts on the rapidity of adoption. And that is compounded by the fact that in Africa, we have, Africa lacks a cohesive digital health policy that would attract investment, and investors are very risk averse. So it is quite different from fintech. You would have seen that healthcare and education attract the lowest funding, VC funding. So what is the good news, however, is that the healthcare sector is quite heavy on grants. And this is what founders need who are working in this healthcare space need to leverage. There's quite a lot of grants that are available and social impact investors who are also looking at ventures that are looking at solving healthcare problems. But even the grant writing is a very challenging and time-consuming process. You need a lot of time, and you also need some sort of money in investment. And these two are what founders often lack. You don't have the time, you don't have the money. So it's a catch-22, like Fadi earlier mentioned. But it's not difficult to surmount. You need to have, again, mentorship, and that is why it is very important to hold the door for those who are coming behind us. Mentorship so that you don't repeat the same mistakes again. So, but we have been lucky to leverage the grant opportunities that are available in the UK. Particularly, what worked in our favor is the fact that as a UK-based company, it comes with a lot of benefit. It gives you that instant validation because I remember when I was still trying to raise and I approached some African investors, they wouldn't invest even though they're in Nigeria. But as soon as we incorporated the UK company, then they brought in their investment. So yeah, it's very important and it gives you a lot of added advantage because the process again of incorporation in the UK is very smooth and it's transparent and people can easily access record, unlike in Africa. But importantly, also, you have to have skin in the game. So for me, I had to put in lots of my own funding first. So as a founder, if you want people to buy into your idea, you need to have a skin in the game. You can't be looking for funding and not be willing to part with 50,000 naira, 100,000 naira of your own money. You need to invest in that. And lastly, that integrity is the currency that you may have left to spend. And that is very important to maintain that level of integrity because people invest in people. You may have a very brilliant idea. If you don't have integrity, words go around and it will impact on your ability to raise funds, even from families and friends.
Thank you, Fumni. I think you made some very excellent points, chief of which I think is almost the last sentence you said, people invest in people. And, you know, guys, people invest in people. It's not just about your idea. I was actually reading on Twitter where someone was saying that Y Combinator actually invest in the people because some people get into YC, shelve the idea they apply with, and then, you know, go on with other ideas. And the second thing is that grant funding is not easy. Getting grant funding is not easy. I think there's a misconception that goes around that grant money is just free money. There's actually a lot of work that goes into it. And the third thing is perhaps explore incorporating outside of your local environment to make accessing capital easier. So I think you ladies have done a fantastic job kind of breaking down accessing capital for early stage entrepreneurs, especially ones that are female. So we don't have a lot of time. We have about a minute left. So to round up, we are going to just do like a 30 seconds, please, so that they don't kick us off the stage, of just like, tell me one thing that has been very, very key and very useful to you on your journey as a female entrepreneur, just one thing, 30 seconds each, Fadi, go.
I would say before I launched my platform, I went onto YouTube and I discovered a channel from Harvard University called Harvard iLab, like iPhone, Harvard iLab. And they've got a channel called Secrets, Startup Success. And it is the secrets that you need to have a successful startup. It's probably about 200 hours worth of MBA classes, but it is so worth it. It teaches you everything you need to know as an entrepreneur. Just all you need is time and data.
Thank you, Fadi. Fumni?
Well, my giveaway or takeaway is this, that if you're building an enterprise, you need to do your homework. Yes, Fadi has mentioned that you have to go and study all those things. 200 pages may take you a while, but I'll give you these 3 nuggets. You need to have 3 key documents that you need to have when you're looking for funding. You need to have a business plan, you need to have a pitch deck, and you need to have a financial model.
Thank you. Okay, Tomi.
Yeah, I'll say that I like to say I went to Startup University. So I first started from the Axiom Venture Lab Incubator. Right after that, which you don't have to have an idea. It just came as a company builder program. So you can imagine the resources, the thinking, like the formation of the thought process of actually iterating or building a product. So right after that, I done the Greenhouse Accelerator. So I think some of these opportunities are very critical to just forming. It's more like they are frameworks to building a company. It's not just off the top of it. There are frameworks, and I think it's important that. And finally, with fundraising, especially when you're no longer at your pre-seed stage, please get investment ready. If you need to get a consultant to help you for our seed round, Chrysalis was critical because I needed to focus on building the company. I needed to focus on running the show. I didn't have, during COVID, the time to spend with investors so much. And Nicole of Chrysalis was critical with our fundraising. Thank you.
So thank you guys. Thank you, Fade. Thank you, Tomi. Thank you, Fumi. And thank you to the UK NG Tech Hub for this session. Anthony, welcome back.